Please help me to reach 1,000 subscribers. Sometimes the deepest wounds are the ones we inflict on the people who loved us with their whole hearts. This is the confession of a woman who broke the man she cared for most, and realized the truth long after the damage was done. I never imagined I would become the villain in someone else's life. Yet here I am, staring into a mirror at a version of myself I barely recognize, a woman who destroyed the only man who ever loved her sincerely. It began 2 years ago when I met Ryan. He wasn't just my partner. He was my shelter, my comfort, the quiet presence who noticed the little things, how I liked my coffee, how I hated driving at night, how one soft touch could calm me down. We had dreams, a home, a wedding, maybe children someday. But mostly we just had each other. And that should have been enough, until I made it not enough. I can't identify the exact day my loyalty started slipping. Maybe it was the long nights at work. Maybe it was Ryan's unwavering trust that I began to take for granted. Or maybe it was the intoxicating feeling of being noticed by someone new. His name was Evan, a coworker with a dangerous smile and a confidence that pulled me in before I realized what was happening. It started innocently, shared jokes during breaks, long conversations, harmless texts. But soon the line blurred. And once I crossed it, everything began to crumble. The first lie I told Ryan haunts me. I felt my pulse pounding as I said I needed to stay late at the office. In truth, I was in Evan's car, laughing at some joke I no longer remember, his hand resting lightly on my knee. It was a tiny moment, yet it was the first crack in everything Ryan and I had built. He never suspected a thing. That's what made it unbearable. He trusted me with his entire heart. When I came home late, he'd greet me with a smile and ask if I was tired. When I seemed distant, he assumed it was his fault, that he wasn't doing enough. Meanwhile, I was drifting away more with each passing day. The guilt ate at me, but instead of telling the truth, I buried it under more lies. I convinced myself I could keep both worlds, that Ryan was my home and Evan was just a distraction I could control. But you can't dance with temptation without eventually getting burned. One night, Ryan surprised me at work with dinner. I wasn't there. He called me, confused. I panicked and told him I was out with coworkers, which wasn't exactly a lie, but it wasn't the truth either. Evan's arm was around me at the time. When I got home, Ryan was sitting at the kitchen table with my favorite meal, now cold. He still smiled and said, "I thought you'd be hungry." That should have been enough to stop me. It wasn't. Everything collapsed faster than I expected. It was a Saturday morning. Ryan had gone to grab coffee, and while he was out, Evan texted me a photo from the night before, me and him laughing in his car. Ryan walked in as I smiled at the message. He saw it. He didn't get angry. He just looked at me with a hollow emptiness that made my stomach drop. "Who's Evan?" he asked quietly. My voice failed me. I mumbled excuses, lies, desperate explanations. But Ryan wasn't naive. He saw everything written on my face. He didn't yell. He didn't accuse. He simply whispered, "How long?" That was the moment I broke. I confessed everything, every lie, every stolen moment, every time I'd chosen someone else over the man who loved me without limits. He didn't cry. He just nodded, stood up, and walked out the door. I ran after him, crying, begging, apologizing, but he never once turned around. His silence hurt more than any explosion of anger ever could. For days I tried to reach him. Calls, messages, knocking on his door. Nothing. The one time I saw him, when he came to collect the few things he'd left at my place, he looked drained, like something inside him had died. He said, "You could have just told me you weren't happy. I would have let you go. You didn't have to break me to find yourself." And in that moment, I understood the full weight of what I had done. I didn't just cheat, I destroyed someone's faith in love and trust in people. It's been 6 months. I see him sometimes, across the street at the grocery store. He doesn't glare, doesn't look angry. He looks past me like I'm no one. And that hurts more than hate ever could. Evan is long gone. It was never love. It was nothing but a fleeting thrill that evaporated the second Ryan walked away. Now, I live with the aftermath, the guilt, the memories, the realization of what I threw away for something meaningless. I'm not writing this because I expect forgiveness. I know I don't deserve it. I'm writing it because saying nothing feels worse. I broke something precious, something irreplaceable. Some people recover from betrayal, rebuild, forgive. But this won't be one of those stories. Ryan deserves someone who values him, not someone who tossed his love aside like it was temporary. Sometimes I wish I could apologize one last time. But it wouldn't matter. Some wounds scar permanently. If I had the chance to go back, I would choose differently. I'd cherish him, protect our love, see the rare beauty in the man who loved me so deeply. But life doesn't allow rewinds. Only consequences. My mistake was loving him carelessly, assuming he would always stay. But love breaks when you betray it. Please help me to reach 1,000 subscribers.